All right, thank you everyone for joining us today. Let's get started. So welcome, my name is Luis Figueroa and I am a AI agent solutions engineer with Semaphore. And with me we have today Tommi Holmgren, VP of Product. Hello, Tommi.
Hello, everyone. Nice to join the webinar again. And Luis, I think this is your first webinar with Semaphore, right?
It is, yes. So it's been an incredible start for me here, but I'm super excited to be here with you guys today.
I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. So everyone, we are going to walk you through, this is the first webinar in a series of technical webinars. We currently have two more planned for a total of 3. There will be more webinars coming down in the future. At the end, we'll have a poll asking for your interest on different topics, so that will be important for us to learn what kind of content are you interested in. But today, we are going to focus on, and go ahead, let me share my screens, share the slides, okay. So today we're going to be focused on getting started with agents in your Snowflake environment. So this is basically Semaphore AI Team Edition, which is our native offering on Snowflake. We have other offerings, and we'll cover those on future webinars. All right, a quick look at the agenda today. So we're going to take a few moments first to talk about the state of AI and why now it's a great time to look at AI agents. Then we're going to do a little bit of an overview on Semaphore as an enterprise platform, what agents are and what makes Semaphore different. And then Tommi is going to take over there at that point and walk us through some specifics about our offering on Snowflake, and then walk us through some fun demos he's prepared. Last few minutes we'll spend doing some Q&A. Please, during the presentation, feel free to add all your questions to the Q&A panel. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll try to get to your questions as we move along. If we don't get to some of them, we'll make sure to follow up. But please add them to the Q&A as opposed to the chat, just to make it easier to track. Thank you so much. All right, let's dive in. All right, so first, I want to spend a few moments talking about a very remarkable thing that's been happening over the last 2 years. If you look at this chart, we have basically the intelligence of frontier models over the x-axis that represents the release date of those models, right? These numbers are provided by artificialanalysis.ai, which is a company specialized on AI benchmarks. And this index represents a combination of 7 different benchmarks that measure different types of capabilities of AI. So they are a very fair representation of the overall capabilities of AI. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this is, if you look at the last 2 years, we've gone from pretty much 0 to almost saturating our existing benchmarks, which is highly remarkable. So what this means is that AI models today have the ability to reason. They're highly accurate at summarizing data, but more importantly, now they have acquired the capability of doing planning, which is really unlocking or like the key capability that's going to unlock a lot of the potential. Now, the other thing we haven't talked about that I don't have represented in this chart, but is very important too, is the cost of intelligence. If you were to take a frontier model from a year ago, so you can look at the middle of the chart here, and for a similar amount of intelligence today, you would basically pay a small fraction of what it costed at release time. And so you have two opposite trends. Like, on one hand, you have AI skills and capabilities ramping up very aggressively. On the other one, the cost of intelligence is trending down and will continue to trend down over time. Which, now let's think about where are we going to be for 2 years from now, right? So you can imagine the potential and the opportunity for our businesses to really capitalize on all these capabilities. So anyway, that's my segue into agents. Now, AI and LLM models are fantastic. They have really enriched our lives. We all use AI assistants today, but there's a lot of untapped potential, which is why agents are a very important next step in this AI journey, right? So agents are what give the AIs the ability to take action for you so that you can delegate tasks, so that you can teach agents how to execute workflows and actually get work done for you. And what this can do for our businesses is they can make us, faster, better, and smarter, right? So it's just a matter of like being able to safely adopt this technology and being able to improve our businesses as we go along. Now, with all this potential, as you can imagine, so the AI agent landscape is getting very crowded. So we really looked at the space, and we have identified at least 3 major categories of AI agent frameworks. On the top here, you see the ecosystem-focused frameworks, and these are you can think of the hyperscalers or the large SaaS platform providers. These vendors provide AI agent frameworks that are highly focused on optimizing your use of their portfolio, monetizing on their services, but they also are a little protective of their products and services, right? So if you live exclusively in one of these ecosystems, they can be of high value for you, no doubt, but they can represent some challenges if you want to expand beyond that ecosystem. On the bottom left, we have another category, which is like the purpose-built AI agent frameworks. These AI agent frameworks can be extremely capable at solving very specific problems. They tend to have a narrow scope as far as use cases, which could be extremely beneficial if that's the area that you want to focus on with AI agents. But what you might end up as an enterprise is having the need to have different vendors for different problem spaces. And that can lead to a proliferation of agent platforms that can pose a challenge when it comes to enterprise governance or the ability to manage and to get visibility into what all your agents are doing. So, all these type of frameworks have pros and cons. So we're just highlighting some of them. Now we'll move on to the DIY frameworks. And these are extremely flexible AI agent frameworks. You can build very complex systems with them. But just be mindful that if you adopt a DIY framework, you'll need a set of in-house skills, right? So you'll need developers, you'll need AI specialists, and to some extent, you'll have to own building the features that meet your enterprise requirements. So just think about security, integration with other systems, governance, etc., right? And then that leads us to Semaphore. So at Semaphore, our company was founded by our executive leadership and product leadership who come from a long history of leading companies in the enterprise software space. So they brought their learnings from over a decade of experience into our company and designed a set of principles to design a enterprise-ready agent platform. So let's take a look at what makes Semaphore enterprise platform. Right, so we like to say that enterprises need a safe approach to adopting an AI agent framework. And SAFE happens to be just a really nice acronym also for the pillars in which we build the platform. It stands for secure, accurate, fast, and extensible. Right. When we talk about being secure, all enterprises have a strong need to have or to enforce authentication and authorization controls. You need to have granular access over what agents can do, what users can build with their agents, the access to the backend data, as well as the integration with other systems within your enterprise. Also, you have sensitive data that may move across these agents. So you need to be able to have encryption and the ability to ensure that sensitive data doesn't fall into the wrong hands. We have a strong focus also on ensuring we meet industry compliance certifications such as SOC2, ISO 27001. We're HIPAA compliant and also adhere to GDPR guidelines. So for more information on that front, you can go to our website and visit our Trust Center. Now, talking about accuracy. So as you know, LLMs are built or trained with data from the public cloud, but they're unaware of your enterprise context. Your private data is what it's needed to enrich the AI models. And so, giving the AI models the ability to integrate and access your data stores and application APIs is what's going to improve the levels of accuracy of how your agents solve problems and execute tasks for you. In that front, we have a number of capabilities that support that pillar. So you have the ability, for example, of defining name queries when you access your backend databases. And you may ask, hey, why having name queries when an LLM is perfectly capable of writing SQL, for example, to query your backend database? And that's true, and in some cases that is sufficient. But think of from a governance perspective. In some cases, you may have several, let's come up with an example, several customer tables across your database. Do you want to leave to the LLM agent to decide which customer table is the right table to query, or do you want to have, in some cases, more of a prescriptive approach that lines up with your governance and your master data management initiatives, right? So that's what name queries can do for you, but also the ability to do data exploration and predictive analytics. All these things come together to improve the decision accuracy of agents in the enterprise. Now let's talk about fast. This pillar is all about speed of development and being able to get to market with your AI agent products fast. So a few things for this pillar: the fact that we mainly build agents using natural language. It really democratizes agents, so you don't need very advanced programming skills to build these agents. It's all mostly natural language, and we use something called a runbook to do that, which we'll cover in just a little bit. So also the ability to integrate with third-party systems, it really drives down the development time, right? Because out of the box, you can select this, we call them actions, that come with the connectors that connect to a number of enterprise systems, and we have a large catalog of those. Then extensible, talk about that pillar. So while we aim to make it easy to develop AI agents, we know that's not always going to cover 100% of the use cases. You may have some custom systems, some in-house development systems that may require custom integrations. And for that, we have a very powerful SDK that you can leverage to not only build integrations with systems for which we don't have an out-of-the-box connector, but also to augment the tools that your agent can have at its disposal to execute work for you. All right, thank you. Let's just move on here really quick to my last slide. And so we've been talking about agents and agents and agents, but what are agents really, right? So let's look here. So the agent is a combination of capabilities along with the AI LLMs that we talked about. So if you look at this analogy here on the slide, and the left you have the business logic, and that encompasses a number of things. So first, the LLM. Second, the runbook I mentioned before. A runbook is basically a document where you can summarize or detail the knowledge that your agent needs to have to execute its tasks. That's where you define the goal, the scope of responsibilities, behavioral guidelines, and step-by-step instructions on how to execute certain tasks if you want to be very prescriptive, or even define workflows if you have complex processes where you need the agent to go through several steps across multiple systems. So again, you do that in natural language, and they encapsulate the business expertise. So I mentioned earlier that we want to empower you to bring your industry expertise and your intellectual property, leverage those to build good agents. And we do that through the runbooks. That's where your process owners can just basically use that knowledge to build great agents. Now, so that's one side of the equation. The other one is how do they actually get the work done? And that's via access to your data sources to either read data in real time or write data to your systems, and access to application APIs. One very important thing about our approach to access to data is that we take a zero-copy approach. So we don't create data silos. We don't bring data over from your data sources and keep a copy that may become stale over time. We have these real-time access capabilities that enable your agents to be always up to date with the latest context of your enterprise. So all these things together, it's what enables your agents to take actions and drive very valuable outcomes. So that was a lot of slides there for a moment. So I think that's been enough. So at this point, I'd love to hand it over to Tommi, who's going to walk you through the details of Semaphore on Snowflake, a little bit of the architecture overview, and then dive into some demos. Thank you. Tommi, take it away.
Thank you, Luis. A really good job in describing what we do at Semaphore, especially this the safe framework, secure, accurate, fast, and extensible. So a while back, we were looking at like what would be the easiest way to deploy these type of agents into production, and it's like it's of course one thing, develop these on your local machine, get your agent up and running, but it's a different category to be able to deploy them into use with tens, hundreds, and maybe thousands of users in production. So you need different kind of infrastructure for that. We chose Snowflake as one of our key deployment targets, or the platforms to run agents on. And the reason was that we can easily make sure that your data stays secure. So data, you have it in Snowflake. The agent is able to access it within the security boundary of Snowflake. We also love the fact that Snowpark Container Services, Cortex AI, and the marketplace all live within the Snowflake. So we are able to offer the full lifecycle agentic platform right within your Snowflake account. So everything lives in the same account, and you are in control what goes in and what goes out. So let's have a quick look at the architecture. How does a Semaphore AI deployment in Snowflake look like? And there's a few personas in play. We are not covering really today in this webinar the agent build experience, which is a business process owner or Python developer task, happens on a corporate laptop using Semaphore AI Studio and the SDK we offer for building custom actions. This is not covered today, but once these personas have built an agent, it can be deployed over to the production environment. And this is what we are talking about today. So for Snowflake, particularly, there's two key personas here. Snowflake admin, who operates the Snowflake platform of an enterprise, will find a Semaphore AI native application from the Snowflake marketplace. This will be my first demo. I will show it in a second, where I show how to find and install Semaphore AI application, get it up and running in a few minutes from the Snowflake marketplace. Once that's installed, it has three key components. It has the admin view, which is a streamlit application within SPCS, has a control room, which is used to manage and run the agents, deploy them, and a workroom that's exposed to end users of the agents using their Snowflake credentials to log in and access the agents that they want to work with. So I will show this deployment in a quick demo, and then after that, we show how a real agent looks like and can do within the Snowflake ecosystem, leveraging the services from Snowflake. And we will be back to that in a second. So let's start with how does the deployment look like? And let me wire up my demo here, and we are going now.
So starting from your Snowflake account, let's first go to the marketplace. And you can find Semaphore AI application by searching agents or Semaphore. If you are installing the Semaphore AI Team Edition application for the first time, you'll only see the buy request application in Marketplace. This listing is basically what you need to find and then request by filling the form. We will still approve your requests ASAP, and then you're good to go to continue the installation. The listing itself goes through what you can do, the key features, a small video, and you can also see that it's available for all of the AWS regions within Snowflake. Once you've requested, we approve, and you'll be able to see the actual listing that you can install. If you're installing for the first time, which I'm not doing, I've been testing quite a bit, you will see a free trial option available for 30 days. I've gone through my trial in my account, so that's why I see that the pricing and I need to just buy it straight up. You will instead see a 30-day free trial when you're trying for the first time. So I'm just going to buy the application. And the installation starts. Once installed, you will get the notification like this, and you're able to open the application. There's still a few steps to take before the application is ready for use. First, you need to grant it some account level privileges, like, for example, creating the compute pools and using the service endpoints, warehouses, and running tasks. So these you can grant with one click. And then next, you need to review the external access, the network locations that the application is able to access. By clicking the review here, and you can see that there's 6 different services which the Semaphore AI application is accessing outside of Snowflake. And these are for Python-based actions, for example, retrieving the packages from PyPy and Anaconda. So once these are connected, you can proceed to the next step, which is to activate the application and then finally launch the application. What you will see now when you're launching the application is the admin view. So remember that architecture picture that we showed earlier has the Streamlit admin view, and then it has 2 key components, the control room and the workroom. So this admin view is used to manage the state of the services, control room and workroom, and also view logs and manage external access of the agents within your platform. So now the native application is installed, but we still don't have the control room workroom running. So you still need to click one create button here. And this process will take a few minutes. In our demo, I will skip this 3 to 5 minutes wait, and I actually have a version installed on another account. So once the services have been installed, you will see something like this. So you have a control room that is running, you have workroom that is running, and you have 2 app service endpoint URLs, one for control room and one for the workroom. These are the ones that your business users will be accessing. So please don't share the admin view link direct to your users. Please share these URLs for the respective users. So copy pasting the URL and opening it. If needed, you will be taken through the Snowflake login. I have been already logging in, so I won't be asked that now. But you will see your gallery of agents that have been published over from Studio to Control Room, your deployed agents that are running live in your system, secrets, LLM configurations, OAuth, and so forth. And similarly, you would be able to access Workroom from this link. But I will leave this demo for Luis to take and show you in a bit. Last final thing that I want to show makes the admin life easier with the application. So you can always go to application settings. There's one critical part, which is access management. So this is where you manage the user's roles. So your roles mapped to the application roles. And if you want to allow, let's say, a sandbox role users, so users granted the sandbox role to use the application, you add that role, and then you will have 3 options to add. So you have an admin, has access to everything within the application, Streamlit, control room, workroom. Then you have an operator, which means control room level access, so can deploy agents, can delete the deployments, manage the configurations, and finally you have the workroom users. So if you want a role being able to only use the agents in workroom, you create it like this and click done. Now the users with this role, they're able to access your agents within the workroom, but nothing else. So that's how you get Semaphore AI Team Edition in Snowflake up and running in a couple of minutes.
So that's the first part of the demo, looking at the Snowflake marketplace, deploying the Semaphore AI Team Edition native application to your Snowflake account and starting to use it. Obviously, I would say, personally for me, the more important and interesting question is that how do the agents look like? Like, what are the agents that you can run in a semaphore, and how does it feel like? So initially, we planned that Luis will do this demo, but I took over, and I also will do this part of the demo. So we will be looking at the live agent in Semaphore AI in Snowflake using the data from your Snowflake account. How does it work, and how does it utilize the different services of your Snowflake account? There's great amount of work that Snowflake has put in enabling the agentic AI to work for you when you have your data in Snowflake. There's Cortex Analyst, Cortex Search, Cortex LLMs, and we put all of these together and bring them into your agents when you run Semaphore AI in Snowflake. So let's look at the demo next.
All right, time to look how agents work for real. Imagine you are working in an organization that has a call center, customer-facing call center, and you are the one who improves the operations of the call center. In this demo, we will not create a chatbot that answers the call center questions. Instead, we create improved training scripts using an agent based on data in your Snowflake account. Let's see how it works. First, I'm showing you my Snowflake account where I have a database called Semaphore AI examples number 2. Within a schema public, I have 2 tables. One is for calls, and this is just the metadata of the calls. And then I have transcripts, and these are the full transcripts of the calls. So they are transcribed from voice to text, and they have like the entire dialogue between the customer and the agent, the human agent. Then I have set up some things like Cortex Search Service for searching the transcripts. And then I have a Cortex Analyst model file here, which allows me to ask natural language questions and go to SQL. In addition, I have our current training script for handling the billing-related cases. So let's imagine that this would be our starting point. Now jumping to Semaphore AI control room, you can see that I've already deployed an agent for call center planner. My agent, it has a couple of action packages. It has one for Cortex Search, so the unstructured data, for Analyst, which is NL to SQL capability. And then I have Google Mail and Google Docs, which allow me to access the training material on our Google Drive, and also the agent can send emails if necessary. So this is all in place, and the agent is live here, and we're good to go. You can, of course, ask questions like, what is the average satisfaction in the past month, or for certain types of cases or case types? But that, to be honest, quite many other platforms can do that too. But I really want to focus on how the agent-driven insights come together with actual action against, in this case, Google Docs, the training manual, and using mail to communicate to your team. So let's start by just saying that, hey, let's describe some common patterns in the highest satisfaction rated billing related calls. So there's like a few things that the agent needs to understand to come to conclusion of, hey, this is how a successful billing related case or call looks like. So it's using the Cortex search, first looking at the spec and then making a search, identifies the billing related calls, now goes to Cortex Analyst. No, found the calls. Yes, please. So now it's looking at those particular calls, and the agent identifies the typical patterns. All right, we are happy so far. There's probably something that I can do to improve the runbook to make it more smooth so that I don't need those steps in between, where the agent was asking me some questions. But we can leave that for a agent building a webinar exercise. So let's then say that our training script is here. So let's go copy paste the script and put a link in here. And then we want to say that suggest how to improve it to aim for high satisfaction and close rate. Let's see how this goes. Now it uses the Google Mail. I've logged in, you can see the permissions in the side panel. So I'm logged in as myself. So the agent is acting as me against the Google Drive services. And because I have privileges to that particular file, the agent can access as well. Now we went through the document, recommend some improvements in it. I think they look all good. And then I say, create a new 2025 version of the doc. And it's looking at the old document, creating a new one. I'm hoping that it will next use create document action, as we can see here. And it's been created. Let's just open it in a new tab. So we have a 2025 version. Amazing. Now back to workroom. So one more step. We would obviously want this to be effective within our team. So let's still make sure that the agent is able to send it to our colleague. So email the doc link to Luis with a note that it's effective immediately. And because I also want to show it here, so let's do the same again, but just do it to myself too. So now I'm able to go and check that I got an email that says, hello me, here's the new file. Click and go and access it. This is pretty brilliant. So last, I want to show you what did it take to create the agent. We will have a separate webinar about building AI agents on Snowflake platform and Semaphore AI Studio. But in this case, my runbook is very short. It basically describes what can you do with Cortex search, like a little bit about the context of the data, saying that these are transcripts and summaries. It does describe what you can do with Cortex analyst, how do you execute query, about the data visualization, which we did not look at in this demo at all, but those capabilities are there too. And then asking steps under which I want the agent to operate. So this is all. So I have not described anything regarding how do you need to work with Google Doc and the training manuals. It's all decided by the agent. And if you think of how to take this kind of an agent further, you could create maybe an agent that goes frequently, look at the top, maybe lowest satisfaction cases, has a runbook that acts on continuously improving the scripts, maybe flagging some discrepancies to the management and so forth. So that's it for the demo. Let's go back to Luis.
We still need Luis into the video. And here he is. And Luis still mute.
I'm just trying to figure out why I'm not in frame now, but it's okay, I'll move.
You need to frame yourself like this.
Yeah. So thank you, Tommi. I got that email. Great recommendations for our training manuals. Thank you. Let's implement those.
Please use them.
Yeah. So anyway, for everybody, this is just a brief example of how AI agents can integrate with multiple systems, leverage your data in Snowflake. And you can think of this as the art of the possible, right? So in this case, we use semantic search from Snowflake to analyze and understand what makes a good call, and then the agent use that information to improve our customer service scripts, and that building a continuous improvement loop that should lead to better service to this particular example company and their customers. But you can think of, as you look at your enterprise, you can think of connecting to systems like Salesforce or HubSpot, any other type of backend system, different APIs, and triggering complex workflows, right? So this could have also taken data from the call center and do things like, tell me all the calls where there was a negative sentiment from today, right? And then have the agent create a service tickets on another system, ServiceNow or HubSpot, to create a follow-up by a customer satisfaction agent, right? And then make sure that either there's a follow-up and that the issue the customer was experiencing was resolved, or that the company has an opportunity to make it right with that customer. And that's just living within the example of the call center. We have tons of customers in different industries coming up with lots of use cases. So, which is, I think, a good segue for what's next. And I'm going to advance the slide here. All right. So we love to hear from you. We are extremely encouraged by the use cases we're learning about from our customers. We want to hear from you and what ideas you have on how agents can make your organization better. So feel free to reach out. My email is should be available to all of you. It's Luis, Luis @semaphore.ai. Also, you can reach us through our social channels or through our contact website. But we definitely want to hear from you. Now, next step from what you learned today, if you have a Snowflake environment, reach out to your Snowflake administrator. Just ask that they request access for you on the Snowflake marketplace. You saw how simple the process is of deploying Semaphore on Snowflake, and we'll get that request, get it approved and processed for you, and be in contact to help you out, either with a POC or understanding the potential of agents, and help you brainstorm how to solve your use cases. So that's what we'd love to do. Again, call to action. AI is really transforming our industry. The time to get started is now, right? So don't wait until 2 years from now. Whether you're, whichever AI agent vendor you think is the right fit for you, today is the time to start thinking about adopting this technology, because it's just going to make, all of our businesses better and our lives better. Any last comments or thoughts, Tommi?
No, I think you really nailed it in the end, like describing what can you do with the agents. And while working on those demos, like I found it was super interesting to work on an agent that can do like structured and unstructured data at the same time. But that's like very geeky and kind of a nerdy way of thinking it. But I love the fact that the agent can go and communicate or act with platforms like HubSpot and Salesforce and fetch information and write back and be like kind of a great citizen of an ecosystem of different services and really bring benefits that way. So it's super interesting to see where the whole world is developing so fast right now. So like when you said that don't wait 2 years, I was thinking it's more like 2 days.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. So the capabilities today are already impressive and disruptive. So it's time to get really creative and take advantage of these capabilities. But I really enjoyed this conversation, Tommi. Thank you. And thank you to everybody who attended the webinar today. Definitely feel free to reach out, let us know what you're thinking about, whatever stage you are in, whether you're just learning about agents or you're already evaluating some agent frameworks. We're here to just kind of brainstorm with you and help you navigate that. So thank you, everyone. Please keep an eye on your inboxes. We'll be sending you updates on the upcoming webinars, and we look forward to the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you.